If you're thinking about moving to Franklin, Tennessee, you're going to want to know the good, the bad, and the ugly. In this video, we're talking about 5 things people don't love about Franklin, Tennessee. The fact is, no place is perfect, and Franklin, it's no different, but these 5 things consistently make it on people's "I don't love this" list. My goal on this channel is to be as helpful as humanly possible, and I want this video to help you make a better decision. If it does, please hit subscribe and tap the bell, will you? It signals the algorithm and it helps me out a lot. Let's get started. Number 1 on the list, traffic. There's about 80,000 people who live in Franklin, and sometimes it can feel like all of them are on the road at the same time. Most of the roads going into and out of Franklin are your standard 2-lane roads. There's a lot of cross streets coming into town, so there's a lot of traffic lights, a lot of stop signs. So yeah, there's a lot of stop and go driving. There's a few subdivisions that are densely populated, like McKay's Mill, Fieldstone Farms, Sullivan Farms, West Haven, just to name a few. If you live in one of these, pack your patience a little bit. The bottom line on traffic in Franklin is this. During the morning and afternoon rush hours, traffic really can get pretty rough. As for I-65, it can get really tangled up during rush hour because a lot of the traffic is passing through to get to cities south of Franklin. But for the rest of the day, travel in and through town is an absolute piece of cake. One exception maybe is lunchtime. Downtown Franklin is almost always fairly busy just because it's so darn popular. As fast as we're growing here, I don't expect things to improve anytime soon. I will say this, that compared to larger cities, Franklin really is a no-brainer. People from LA, Chicago, and New York, they laugh when they hear people complain about the traffic. Traffic here? Number 2 on the list, high home prices. Real estate in Franklin, Tennessee wasn't always expensive. In March of 2020, the median price was just a bit over $525, and now it's close to $900. COVID changed everything around here. When remote working became acceptable, moving to a no-income tax state became desirable. As some states got more restrictive on COVID protocols and politics got weird, a lot of people started moving to Tennessee a lot. We have excellent schools here, and that's an additional draw to our area. And again, the Mayberry vibe of downtown Franklin will always be a compelling reason to move here. Where we had a reasonably balanced housing market, all of a sudden supply dried up, demand and prices spiked, and it hasn't been the same since. Plus, Franklin, Tennessee shares a border with a very exclusive city called Brentwood. Close proximity to high-dollar places like Brentwood tends to keep prices on the higher side. Blame it on basic economics. Low supply, high demand equals rising prices. Sorry. Number 3 on the list, a lack of public transportation. If you're coming from a city where public transportation is a part of everyday life, Franklin will be a disappointment. We do have some transit options, and to see them, just go to franklintransit.org. But I'm telling you that the routes are limited and really won't do much for you getting back and forth to work unless you're lucky enough to work somewhere close to the bus route. If you live in Franklin, you're really going to need a car. On a happier note, parking is all free in downtown Franklin, so we've got that going for us. Yay. Number 4 on the list, losing that small town feel. In the words of a neighbor friend of mine, I've lived in Franklin my whole life. Growing up, we knew just about everyone in town. Our pace of life was slower, traffic wasn't too busy. And you could drive downtown for a nice leisurely stroll past shops and restaurants. But over the last 10 years or so, Franklin has just exploded with growth. All these big subdivisions, strip malls, and corporate headquarters just got built up all over town. Our little downtown can barely handle the crowds anymore. Come on, she's lamenting losing that small town feel she knew as a kid. Don't even get me started on rush hour traffic nowadays. It's a nightmare. If you stop any long-term resident and ask these questions, what's life like in Franklin now compared to a few years ago, you're going to get some version of what my friend said. The truth is, it's so nice living here, I'm only surprised the crowds didn't come sooner. I can tell you one thing from personal experience, that even though more people are here now, we haven't lost that close community feel. That's an intangible you really can't explain, but you'll know it when you're here. Number 5 on the list is overcrowded schools. As I said before, the excellent school system is one of the major draws to Franklin and Williamson County, and I bet 90% of the calls we get asking about schools is the top 2 questions. According to niche.com, 12 of the top 20 public high schools in Tennessee are in Middle Tennessee, and 6 of those are in Williamson County. The schools are bursting at the seams trying to accommodate all the new families moving into the area. I feel for the teachers and the administrators trying to manage these packed classrooms, but despite the challenges, they're doing a great job. If you like this video, tell a friend, then subscribe and hit the bell so you'll be the first to learn about the ever-changing market. As always, I appreciate you and your time. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.